tell you an interesting story about the changing workplace. There was a company that had a large conference room table that provided a sturdy, comfortable workspace for all employees in the office. This four-legged table served as a central point where employees would gather, spread out their work, and get the job done. Well, everything was great until the boss made a very troubling announcement. Unfortunately, costs are rising, and to remain competitive, we have to cut expenses. We can't afford to maintain this four-legged table any longer because, as you know, table legs are very expensive. Therefore, we have to remove one of the legs. Well, as you can imagine, there was much grumbling in the office. How could a three-legged table support all the work they had to do? But they were left with no choice. One leg had to go, and they just simply had to adjust. Well, to adapt, the employees moved the remaining legs around a bit, but it wasn't as sturdy as the four-legged table, and it did fall over occasionally when the workload increased. But the work resumed in spite of all the grumbling. The boss was pleased because leg count was down by 25%, and as you know, table legs are very expensive, so the savings was significant. Just as the employees were finally adjusting to the three-legged table, the boss made another announcement. Times are still hard, and we continue to look for ways to cut costs, so I'm afraid we're going to have to remove another leg from the table because, as you know, table legs are very, very expensive. The employees were just aghast. The mood around the office grew dark, and productivity slumped to an all-time low. Going from 3 legs to 2 just seemed impossible. Eventually, one employee offered a suggestion. Last time we redesigned the table, maybe it's time we redesign the legs. They have to be much stronger and function differently. We have to reconsider what we ask these legs to do. So after much research, the employee rolled out the blueprint for the new table. The impossible was achieved. The new legs were different in form, function, and capabilities. They did what the previous legs could never do. This new leg style was implemented in all the branch offices and became the new normal. The boss was pleased because now leg count was down by 50%. Morale began to improve, and those who longed for the four-legged tables eventually moved on because they couldn't keep up with the changes. Business was good with a two-legged table, and profits from the work increased. But after time, you guessed it, the boss made yet another announcement. Competition is even more fierce. Challenges are even greater than before. So yes, we have to remove another leg because, as you know, table legs are so expensive. With the previous changes, legs became stronger, and the next iteration was logical, a one-legged table. It was difficult to find a leg with that kind of capacity, but they did. They saved money because leg count was now down by 75%, and the company moved forward. Years later, employees sat around the one-legged table, and one of them said, "Did you know that at one time this table had 4 legs holding it up? That is crazy!" Because as we all know, table legs are so expensive, and with that, they had a big laugh and continued their work. In the ever-changing world of business, companies, as well as individual employees, must constantly evaluate the skills required to adapt to new technologies and be equipped to solve new and different problems. Failure to do so will result in companies that eventually become obsolete and workers who can no longer add value. Table legs continue to evolve, and to keep up, I believe there are 4 universal, adaptable skills that everyone must develop to stay relevant in this business environment. Those skills are the ability to communicate, to learn continuously, to innovate consistently, and connect with people. That's what makes people click in today's workplace, and that's what I'll focus on in this Click series. I'm John Manning. Thank you so much for watching today.